is the bee's knees. But TikTok is also a beast. Because if you are not familiar with creating content on TikTok, you're gonna be like, how do I get started? How do I film and edit it? How do I actually make my videos get seen? And because it's the bee's knees, a lot of people are wanting to get on the platform. So today, in this Ultimate Beginner's Guide to TikTok, I'm gonna let my friend Samantha, a rock star TikTok strategist and specialist, teach you all the things you need to know to get started on TikTok, to edit, to film, to have the strategy to go viral, all the things. When I was looking for a TikTok strategist for the Hey Jessica channel to be a contributor, Samantha stood out immediately. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have her. And I'm so glad and honored that she agreed to be a contributor here on this channel. So please help me give her a warm welcome and let's learn about all things TikTok from Samantha.
Hey Jessica, hey everyone. Thanks so much for having me. Today I'm going to be your TikTok coach, everyone. And so we're going to be talking about how to utilize TikTok from the beginner stance. And I'm going to do no gatekeeping throughout this entire series. So make sure to be following along. Today we're going to be covering how to understand the TikTok algorithm. Is it random or is there actually some sort of science behind it? Then we're going to talk about finding your ideal audience on TikTok. Are they actually on there and how do you go about finding them? Then we're going to be done talking about what kind of content to be producing right away. And the fourth piece is then we're going to be talking about how you can actually get started today with some simple steps along the way. So before we go into understanding the algorithm side, I want you to understand what's actually happening with TikTok today. TikTok has been downloaded over 3 billion times with over 900 million active users using it on a day-to-day basis. Of the 900 million active users, we have over 400 million active users over the age of 30 spending 82 minutes a day on this platform, a day. So these individuals who are over 30 are spending almost a movie length watching and scrolling on TikTok, absorbing content, seeing other businesses that aren't you right now. And these over the 30-year-olds are your ideal audience. They are also the ones that has disposable income to spend on your products and services. And guess what? They're currently watching your competitors' content and not yours right now. So we're going to try to fix that today. Across the board of all social media platform, while TikTok is still not the most highest number in terms of active user counts, across the board though, because they're spending about 82 minutes a day on TikTok, they're not spending as much time on the other social media platforms. That's showing you there's been a downward trend on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. But TikTok still reigns supreme at 82 minutes a day. And this is really important for you because this is showing you how powerful video marketing is to everyone nowadays. No one has the attention span to watch and go through 50 or 60 Instagram posts and read every single post no more. They're not able to swift through and read about 10 articles on LinkedIn no more. But they can get the same information through 30-second clips of videos and not feel overwhelmed. Well, that's where they're going to turn towards. And so this trend of short form video is not plateaued. It's going to continue going up and up. And so let's go understand about this diagram of TikTok versus Instagram or how the actual platforms actually work. And I'm going to show you in this picture right here in this diagram, okay? So you can see on the left-hand side, Instagram. If you were to post 3 times on Instagram, static posts, not reels, like stories and static posts, or even on LinkedIn where you're just posting posts itself or videos, etc., what's going to end up happening is it actually continues going out to your network base, meaning it's going out to your friends, your family, other people who are always engaging your content, and then not necessarily new audience every single time, which means you're getting engagement, but it's going from the same 20 to 30% of people over again. So it could be your mom, it could be your other entrepreneurs that are cheering you on. And unless you're creating share-worthy content or people are searching specifically for your products and services, it's actually very, very hard to grow on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn nowadays. Now, on the right-hand side, you can see here, TikTok. How the platform actually works differently is it's not based on your network on TikTok. And so when you create, say you post 1 video, 2 videos, or even 3 videos, every single time you're posting, it actually goes out to a small subset of groups of individuals. I call this the batch system. And so every time you're posting, it goes out to 30% of your current followers, 30% of the local people in your area where your phone is based out of, and 30% of people, based on the SEO, the hashtags, the captions, the words you're using in your video, who would most likely enjoy your content itself. So therefore, about 50 to 60% of people who've never even heard of you, don't even know you exist, will now be seeing your video for the very first time. And every single time you're posting, even if you post 3 times in one day, it's going to be a different group of individuals every single time you're posting, not the same 20, 30% people. That's the difference. If you keep getting more engagement on that one video in the early stages, well, guess what? You then move on to the second batch, which will send your video to 1,000 people. And then if it's meeting the metrics of TikTok, it's then going to send it to even more people. So the next batch would be 10,000 and so forth and so forth. And so you're going to see a nice little snowball effect happening on your TikTok videos when you implement my strategies today. So then I want to show you this next diagram over here, okay? And then the next diagram over here will explain exactly the 4 batch systems of TikTok itself. When we go into the TikTok algorithm, I want you to remember there is a 4-step batch system that your video can get up to. So whenever you're posting on TikTok, no matter you have 0 followers or 1 million followers, every single video that you post will start in a small batch test size. The small batch test size will vary depending on how many followers you have, how long you've been on the platform, etc. But let's assume that you're starting from the beginning. So your small batch size might be testing out to 100 people at first. Now, in this small batch test side, the algorithm over here is paying attention to the words that you're using. And it's looking at the text on your video, the words that you're using, the audio choice, any hashtags you might be using to then figure out exactly who to send your videos out towards. So at the bottom here, you can see there's about 5 metrics on TikTok that determines whether or not your content is of quality content for TikTok to push it out to more individuals. And from least important to most important, you have likes. Likes is worth pennies on TikTok. It's not worth much. It's just telling TikTok that, oh, this individual double tap on the screen, but didn't really engage further. So we'll give this creator 1 point for that. Now, if someone decides to comment, ask questions, and leave thoughtful and insightful messages on your videos as opposed to just thanks or okay, wow, that's not really substance. And so if they leave more than like 4 to 7 words on your comment area, TikTok will assume that you're getting engagement, quality engagement for your video. And so this creator will now get 5 points. Now, if someone decides to watch your video for a higher completion watch time, say they watch your videos between 50% to 70% of the actual video length of it, now you'll get about 10 points for that. That's telling TikTok this individual passed the initial stages of the hook, past the initial stages of what the information you're giving, and you were able to keep this audience attention for a longer period of time. Great. Now, if someone decides to rewatch your video, whether or not it's a short video or a long video, now it's telling TikTok, wow, this individual really enjoyed your one video, where you're now going to get 25 points for that. And if someone decides to share your video, they might hit the copy and link button. They might save your video. They might be reposting it onto TikTok, or they might be reposting it onto their other social media platforms. Guess what? This is no longer worth 50 points. It is now worth 100 points. So that's telling you one share is equivalent to 100 likes on one video. That's telling TikTok this is quality content. We need to find more individuals like this individual who shared your content who would really benefit from watching your video. And that's where the SEO will come in to see where to send out your videos to move on to the next batch size. In the medium batch test, this is the part of the algorithm where they're actually screening your audio and listening to your audio to make sure that you are not going against their community guidelines. Meaning, for example, I work with a lot of clinicians. They might be using a lot of body parts to talk about their message. And sometimes their videos will get flagged, but this is the part where you need to be careful. Like if you're going to say some sort of body parts or using some keywords like depression, anxiety, or even using words like bomb, like truth bomb coming your way, even though it's not used in the same context, it might get flagged. And so that's where I want you to be careful of what words you're using on TikTok so it doesn't go against the community guideline. But also, if you're going to use certain words like sex education, maybe spell sex with S, the euro sign, and then X instead, so that doesn't get caught by the TikTok algorithm as well. Next is when your video has now gone past the medium stage and now it's going to go to the large audience. Great. Now you're hitting about 1,000 to 50,000 views on this one video. I want you to know that in this part of the algorithm, there's actually a process called heating process on TikTok. And if you guys all remember America's Funniest Home Videos, do you remember how many times you see clips on national TV? But imagine how many submissions you got. And all the submissions that went through a process similar to TikTok's heating process, where there's individuals in an office where their only job is to watch videos and to handpick the videos that they think should go now into the super viral batch test. They're handpicking, they're watching videos. So in order to go into a super viral batch test, it's no longer the strategy of 2020 when you just do trending sounds. You need to be able to add your own voice to your own videos and have your own insights that is not Googleable on the first page. That's the difference. And so for you to go super viral, don't do trending sounds, don't do trending dances. You need to add your own insight and own spin of information. The talking videos, okay? So just to recap, I know this was a lot of information on the algorithm side. Every single video will go through the small batch test size, okay? In order to move up from one stage to the next stage, you can see here in the boxes, you need to be hitting these 5 metrics down here, okay? That's telling TikTok if their content is quality content. The small batch test size is for where TikTok will screen your content to figure out who to send out your content out to based on the words and the SEOs and the text you have on the video and the hashtags. The medium batch test is where they're screening your videos to make sure it's following the community guideline. The large batch test is where it will now hit the heating process if individuals will now figure out which videos to handpick to go into super viral batch tests. Now remember, when you get started on TikTok, not every single video will be viral, and that's okay. Most of the videos will stay in a small and medium batch test, but that is also where you're winning at. Those audiences are warming, that are getting more and more warmed up towards you. You're speeding up the like, know, and trust process, and these individuals are ready to then buy from you because they've been seeing a lot of your content over and over again. Okay, so let me know down below in the comments if you have any questions about the algorithm, but let's move on to the next part. If you're trying to still figure out whether or not your demographics is actually on TikTok, I want you to go ahead and open up the platform and then start searching some of the keywords your audience might be using to describe themselves. For example, maybe you serve moms over 30, hashtag moms over 30. You can see here, there's about 2.5 billion views on this hashtags alone. Or maybe you serve dog owners. You have dog products for these dog owners. Hashtag dog owner, 65 million views. Or maybe you serve new moms. Maybe you're like a doula. Hashtag new moms is 850 million views right now, okay? Or maybe you're like myself who serve a lot of entrepreneurs. Hashtag entrepreneur, 10.6 billion views. This is just to show you your audience is definitely on TikTok, okay? And it's not going to get any smaller. It's just going to continue getting bigger. So what I want you to do when you're figuring out what kind of hashtags to use for your own videos, I want you to use this one rule. Okay, there's a lot of rules out there, but this one rule always works. Use hashtags that your audience is using versus what your video is. So for example, imagine me as a social media marketer, I'm using a lot of hashtags like hashtag social media marketer, hashtag social media manager, hashtag social media expert. Well, guess what? My video will now be going out to other social media experts, other social media managers, other social media agencies. And that's not exactly where my videos should be going out to. Even though these individuals will get what I'm trying to say, will probably engage with my content, they're not my ideal audience. And so you want to be using more hashtags what your audience is using. Okay, and there is some combination of, we'll also want to include what you do, and as well as a specific pain point that you're solving for the video. But generally, you want to be using more hashtags your audience is using. And another rule on this, use hashtags or micro hashtags. Don't use hashtags that are in the billions and billions of views, because what ends up happening is, so for example, if you use the hashtag moms, right? Hashtag new moms was about 850 million views. What's going to end up happening is, well, hashtag new moms is not really ideal no more, because the individuals that were new moms are not necessarily new moms now. So maybe you want to use more micro hashtags, like maybe something along the lines like hashtag due in December 2023. Great. Now I know those individuals will be more likely being new moms now as opposed to new moms 2 years ago. So now let's go into the part of, well, what kind of content do I produce without having to do silly dances or lip syncing on TikTok? Remember, our goal here on TikTok isn't to gain just 100,000 followers. The goal here is to convert those followers into actual paying customers. Who here will agree with me? Great. Yes. And so because the app did originally start for, dancing and lip syncing and more fun videos, it's actually moved quite a bit from there. Okay. And I want you to know that TikTok has invested over $500 million into creating more educational content. They spent a lot of money bringing on experts from various different fields to create content on TikTok, so that it is now not just a fun dancing app, but more where people can actually search information for. SEO friendly. And so knowing this, what should we do as businesses and course creators and content creators? Well, we need to be creating evergreen content. Okay. Evergreen content means that you're creating content that is true today, still true in 1 year, still true probably in 5 years or even more. Okay. And I say maybe because industries change quite a bit depending on what industry you're in. And so where I want you to start with your content creation, start out by listing your top 10 FAQs you get asked consistently from others in various industries, or when they start talking to you in your own industry. But don't make these top 10 FAQs like, what's your package? Or like, how do I start working with you? No. You want to add value to your audience. And so it could be things like, so for example, if you're a personal trainer, maybe it's something along like, do diet fads actually work? Should I be focusing more on cardio, weight training, or a combination of both? What's the biggest challenge for new moms trying to lose their belly fat? Right? So there's so many different types of top 10 FAQs you could be using that you already have. And now I just want you to start creating content off of that first. And so when you get going, you're going to start making a list of your top 10 FAQs. And then I want you to then do this one exercise with me. So maybe you're now a personal trainer and you want to do something like, here are 3 mistakes most new moms make at the gym. If I was to ask you, if that content piece was, here are 3 mistakes new moms are making at the gym, how many pieces of content do you think that is? Is it 1? Is it 3? Put it down in the comments what you think that might be. Okay, so many of you are probably going to guess around 3. The truth here is you can actually make this into 8 content. Okay, and I'm going to break this down for you, how this now one piece of content can now be turned into 8. So the first content is going to be your long form version. You're going to explain here the 3 mistakes you're making and the why behind it. Okay, so the long form content, it'll probably be about 1 minute long. Your second piece of content will now be a shorter version of that, where you're just listing here the 3 mistakes most new moms are making at the gym. Boom, boom, boom. Great. That is now a 30-second clip of your long 1 minute clip. Video number 3, 4, and 5 will be each of those individual mistakes told on its own. Video number 6, 7, and 8 will be each of those mistakes told in a story format. And that story format might be your own personal experience, might be a client experience, might be something you witnessed in the world or in our culture or in the news, and explaining it through an everyday example for your audience to fully understand. Because stories are so powerful in getting your audience to retain that information 8 times more likely than just spitting out facts at our audience, okay? And I'm sure you also remember, for example, you probably remember a lot of the lyrics and of your favorite song as opposed to what your artist just said to you. It's the same thing. Story makes your audience retain a lot more. Let's now go into what your first 3 steps on actually getting started on TikTok, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is when you open up your account, I want you to create and lock in that username that is SEO friendly. So for example, maybe you want to use your business name. So let's use the example. So maybe your example of you're a photographer in New York, okay? And you want to use your business name on TikTok. Well, guess what? No one knows who you are just yet. But imagine you log in the SEO of at New York photographer, and no one else is using that. Guess what's going to end up happening? People are going to be searching New York photographer on TikTok, and who's going to be popping up? You are. So if you can lock in that SEO keyword that literally helps people find you much easier, this will help your account grow a lot faster as well. And down the road, you can change it to your name or to your business name afterwards once you built up a community, okay? The second thing is I want you to then create a bio. And your bio should state 3 key things: who you are, why people need to be following you, and your call to action. So for example, you can see here in my bio, I use TikTok coach for entrepreneurs. Great, it's very specific. Tips and tricks to grow. It gives you a reason why you should follow me. And my call to action is book a free call today. Great. Make it very short and simple. The bio on TikTok is shorter than Instagram. It's about 80 characters. So you're going to have to be creative with using emojis to break it up. Break it up in this 3-way format. It makes it a lot easier for your audience to read and see. Your bio is very important. This is your resume for your audience. And I do want you to do this exercise. When you create your bio, send it out to about 10 of your friends, text it to them, and see if it passes the fluff test. If, say, for example, you are a business coach, and your bio says something like business coach helping you strategize and synergize. What does that even mean? That seems so fluffy. So maybe it's like business coach getting you from 0 to 100K. Great. It's more specific and gives your audience an understanding of why I should be following you more. And while you're creating your account, I want you to absorb content. Don't watch content that is personal, tailored to you. So for example, I'm a business coach. I'm a TikTok coach. I should be watching a lot more marketing videos and other entrepreneurs videos, but I am also a mom on the side. And so I try really hard not to watching those funny mom videos or relatable mom moments because it does not really serve me and my business account. So you have to be very tailored on that. If you do want to watch a personal account on your TikTok, I highly recommend creating 2 separate accounts, one business, one personal, so that you don't mix up the algorithm. The second thing when it comes to getting started on TikTok, you need to start finding your audience and doing research on your audience. So the step number 1, research the keywords your audience is using to describe themselves on TikTok. Watch those 10 videos that pops up. That's part of the first 10 videos that's top related to that hashtag. Just make sure it does mean what it says. For example, my accountant clients, they were trying to use the words hashtag accountant. On TikTok, it actually means hashtag OnlyFans. So just be careful that the words, what you think it might mean versus what other people are using on TikTok. Then you're going to use target hashtags on your individual videos. Use about 4 or 5 hashtags that are using what your audience is using to describe themselves. And then just make sure that you're only using micro hashtags between 500,000 to 20 million in views, okay? So whenever you do look here, so say for example, you want to use hashtag female entrepreneur. Well, that one has about 65 million views. But what you can see down here is hashtag female entrepreneur journey only has about 600,000 views. So I'm going to try and use that one as opposed to a hashtag female entrepreneur, just so that more individuals that are micro or more related to my content will more likely watch my video, relate to my video, engage my video early on in order to have my videos continue the momentum. And the final step when getting started, I want you to build a strategic blueprint plan, okay? And so what I mean by this, I want you to take some effort into figuring out what content works and why you're doing that content. I don't want you to just create content just to create content, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to be on a hamster wheel of content creation. There's 4 or 5 questions I want you to ask yourselves, and you might want to write this down when it comes to building your strategic blueprint plan. 1, what is the overall goal of this video? If you're starting out new, chances are you're probably going to aim for building a community, getting more followers, sharing your story, as opposed to promoting right away. And then the second thing is it on brand with you? I want you to think of 3 keywords you want your brand to represent on TikTok. Maybe it's playfulness. Maybe it's personable. Maybe it's inspirational. Maybe it's educational, knowledgeable, passionate. Whatever those 3 keywords are, make sure every single one of your videos inhibits one of the 3 adjectives that you want to describe yourselves. If you're going from playfulness to seriousness to sarcasm to funny to then all over the place, doesn't really give your audience a reason why to watch you. Number 3, ask yourself, who is this for? Think of that perfect avatar that you want to be watching your videos being like, I need her or him in my life. They are reading my brain of all my pain points. How do I get this fixed? Someone like you. So map out your perfect avatar that should be watching this video. And please don't tell me it should be everyone. And number 4, ask yourself, is this self-serving or user-focused? Now, to know the difference is you could just change one keyword. So for example, if my hook was how I grew to 100K in 3 months, that sounds a lot more about me as opposed to my user audience focus. And so I might change that one keyword to how you can grow to 100K in 3 months. Now it sounds way more valuable to my audience who might be watching this video as opposed to all about me. Okay? Because remember, the one thing that people care most about is themselves. And you gotta make sure that this video is for them, not you. The 5th question you wanna ask yourself is, what value are you providing for your audience? And there's 5 ways to knowing if you're adding value. The first one is it educational? Is it inspirational? Is it entertaining? Or is it timely? Or is it engaging? Educational is easy. Entertaining is easy. Inspirational could be like a story you're trying to inspire your audience with. Timely is where you are now creating content off of something that's timely happening right now. So for example, there's a lot of forest fires happening at this time of the recording. Maybe you can bridge it into your own industry. The 5th one is it engaging? This is where you're asking your audience for their opinion and getting more engagement back on your video. So for example, I did a video where I asked them, do call to actions actually get you to do the thing on the video itself? Like, do you ever notice the call to action? Or does it inhibit, or do you notice any difference of that? And that video got a lot more people engaging in the comment section as opposed to just me spitting out facts. Okay, so I gave you a lot of information to get started. On the next couple of series, I'm going to show you a walkthrough of how to actually start editing and filming on TikTok. So make sure to be following and comment down below what was something that you thought was a key takeaway from today that you never thought about. I would love to learn more and see if you have any more questions. I'll see you guys on the next video.